Okay, so I'm here with David Allen, famous time management guru, the time management genius of the 21st century, author of 3 books, Getting Things Done, and the other ones with very long titles, I'm sorry. And I'd have to point out that David was perfectly on time. What about, I know you work with lots of executives around the world. Can you tell me specifically for CIOs, Chief Information Officers, our technical types, our IT departments, you know, what have you noticed about them? I mean, just to give you a few ideas that came in my head is, first you're talking about relatively introverted people go into IT, right? Generally. That's a broad generalization. So you tend to work more on the details and a little bit less on how to deal with people, right? And then your life is full of complexity. So those are just my thoughts, but let's see what you say.
Well, you know, as you probably know, I think GTD was the first non-tech meme that just went virally through the tech world.
Right.
You know, because GTD hit paperback in about 2003. That was when the blog world just started, and you know, there were just a number of significant people in that world that sort of publicized that, and then the whole life hack movement started right about then too. Mm-hmm. And you know, as I've written, you know, it's the tech people that love this. First of all, they're almost as lazy as I am, not quite. They're also in the business of using technology and external tools to leverage thought and leverage decision making. Right? That's what this is. They also love a totally intact system with no leaks. As somebody described it, said, David, you described all the subroutines of how you get your in basket empty,
yeah, exactly.
how you get your head empty. I did, and that's what I figured out. So I'm not a tech guy. I'm just sort of an end user tech guy. But all the tech folks just love it because it just lines well. And probably as important as that, what it did was it gave them a model to be able to still use their wicked cool tech tools and not have to change it, but actually get make them a lot more powerful.
Right.
You know, so whether that was their favorite app or a spreadsheet or Outlook or Lotus Notes or whatever it was, so it moved those. You know, it was a methodology that one could then use the technology to really leverage. So all those are reasons why it hit a nerve there. And organizationally, most of the big organizations we work with, oftentimes that is the most, operations is generally where the uptake is quickest, because and particularly IT operations as that's handled, because first of all, they don't have quite as much interruption as the salespeople or you know or other folks have. They got a lot, they've got enough, but it's a little bit more of a back office and a lot of projects and a lot of plates that people have to, you know, keep spinning in the air and keep track of. So the uptake in that arena has been, generally speaking, that's probably the most popular division or areas within organizations that pick this up to begin with. So yeah, and not so much about introvert or extrovert. It really is, you know, I think one of the reasons that people love it is because there are a lot of details, and so being able to put all those details in the appropriate places. And a lot of IT people are very used to systems. If you get call orders or whatever for you know, if your customer service, your internal customers maybe, you know, can yank your chain at any time, and you have to drop what you're doing. So being able to keep track of all of that, and most, as you know, most IT, you know, systems and most IT divisions have already set up, you know, fairly rigorous ways to keep track of all those kind of things. That's usually not the issue. It's all the exceptions to that. It's all the weird things that don't fit into the system that you then have to navigate while the system itself is still cranking out what it cranks out.
Okay.
So there's a lot of popular, and I've worked with quite a number of you know, senior IT folks.
Okay.
But really, Pat, it's all the same issues everybody's dealing with. It'll just take on its own spin. But there's probably as much difference between one IT executive and the executive sitting right next to them as there is anywhere, because it really is more the individual interest and uptake on that.